I watched a lot of that game, unfortunately for me. It was absolutely painful to watch.
Wild card active.
Getting rid of Salah is not a bad option, in my opinion. Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of South African Fantasy Football Podcast, and we're back with another disappointing week. All three of us ended up with either the same points or 1 point apart, so um, not the best game week for any of us. How are you guys keeping?
I don't feel like a content creator after that game week.
But
We,
I mean,
we gave too much bad advice.
you should
We
feel like a
went,
content creator. It's the first week where we were
Actually,
par with the content creators.
that's true.
fair actually. Like this season's content creators, perhaps we're on par with them, but usually content creators are supposed to be on top of their game, and that's not been our thing, especially mine, lurking at the bottom. Are you guys gonna give them my news or shall we wait a little bit?
Oh, we'll wait. We'll keep it in the wings. We can start off with not the meme of the week, which we usually start off with, but we have our graphics updated thanks to Mohammed Waseem. He wanted the current rank in the teams, and we got that. So we'll go through that, and I'll happily start because I'm happily in the lead. Current rank of 209,000.
I was
Um,
actually sitting on a solid green arrow on Saturday, even after the Saka haul. And I was like, okay, this is looking promising. And then
yeah.
as soon as Sunday came, it went south quick. After the first game already on Sunday, my rank was obliterated.
Um, your rank sitting at 632,000. Um, and then Razeen, 2 million.
Some work to do.
Some work to do.
A lot. I'm glad
But
it's international break. Gives me some time, you know.
yeah, I guess you're the only one that classifies himself as a content creator, so you can wear that badge with pride.
We keep referring to Andy from Let's Talk FPL because I feel he's probably one of the best and most followed content creators out there right now. And him and I are on the exact same amount of points. So
Oh, nice.
I
just
love
say, just
I
say.
I love Andy, but we'll cut him some slack because he's still got Bruno in his team, and we'll give him the bias view that he's not doing it out of content creation. He's doing it out of bias. Um,
Which is where I've got dragged into as well.
yeah.
And I've seen pain for it.
And me, I mean, look at my background. We're literally at a European night at Anfield right now, guys.
That
Yeah,
that
but I
photo
mean,
is
A Liverpool bias at this point in time is probably not the worst. It's not the worst bias to have at the moment.
That
yeah.
sounds good. That's nice to hear. Top of the tree.
We'll we'll cut to the meme of the week because that's where we normally start. And finally, Saka saves the team. Unfortunately, nobody else did anything again.
Yeah.
Um, it was a painful week for everybody else. It's about time Saka got a uh, got a haul. He's really been good. He's really been an outstanding player this year. And
I was just sitting hoping, please don't do anything. After the first system, like, okay, 1-1, great result for Arsenal, and then it just went crazy afterwards. It was unfortunate for the rest of us. But I mean, I
But you
didn't
could
feel
see it
bad
coming.
afterwards. Yeah, I didn't feel bad afterwards for some odd reason because I looked at my rank and I'm like, okay, my live rank was still okay. And then, flames, bruh, flames.
Haaland with the blank, second
It
blank
was
game.
surprising. It was surprising that they scored 3 goals and he played a part in none of them, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate because they were at home as well, right? They're playing at the Etihad, so
yeah. We can see City played Fulham at home 3-2. Kovacic with 2 goals. Rico Lewis with a return as well. Any of you guys have Lewis?
yes, I do. I was very happy for the assist, but then I think that second goal once that went in, I was super disappointed. 'Cause I think it also knocked him out of bonus and stuff as well, so that was quite unfortunate. I thought Fulham were phenomenal. I thought Adama Traore
I
terrorized
loved, yeah.
City's defense,
Uh,
absolutely terrorized them.
Surprised to see Smith Rowe benched, but at the same time, we've been
Yeah.
saying we've been saying how Adama Traore has been the main
Mm.
man until Jimenez has been in.
Did you see his flick assist for
Unbelievable.
Pereira's goal? And ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But I'm actually really surprised Pereira played instead of Smith
I
for
think
recent returns,
Pereira,
but I think Pereira's on set pieces and stuff
yeah,
as well, so
I think Pereira's
that's why.
a more clever player, and I think
Yeah.
he watches the game a lot more. I can see the reason why United bought him and United gave him those opportunities.
Mm.
He's a really clever player. He's really trusted and nailed on in that team. Jimenez now is looking really good, as well
He's
as Traore is looking dangerous, but he's looking like Traore. No final product.
Yeah, no end product, yeah. That end
Yeah.
product was shocking. Absolutely.
We'll talk through kickoff, Palace vs Liverpool. Razeen, what were your thoughts on the game?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Always, always.
But I
Last
mean,
week's meme of the week.
it was very lackluster performance from both teams. But I mean, that 12:30 kickoff usually provides that, right? Like teams are just not up for it as much as they would for the later kickoffs, which is
My
unfortunate.
first thought was just this is so unfair. Liverpool literally just played. We literally just had our Champions League game now, and now we're playing first up. It's just they hate us. Why do they always do this to us? But luckily, I mean, Jota for the win. And we discussed it on our deadline stream. Our lineup leak that you pulled out was absolutely spot on. I think there was one error, but everyone knew that Diaz would not start. Jota would start. That was quite cool.
I was surprised about how many rotations there were this week. Jota started, but Diaz was benched. I think Robertson was benched. Szoboszlai was benched.
But
Um,
Szoboszlai
Yeah, that's
was
it.
illness, to my knowledge. I think he wasn't too well, so I think that's why he was benched.
Trossard was benched for Arsenal. I thought that was a bit of a
And
surprise.
Yeah.
Sterling to
Martinelli.
start,
Trossard and Martinelli
and
both
Uh,
Martinelli.
bench.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was also a bit of a surprise.
But the Arsenal one was a bit more expected because they were playing Southampton, so you'd think they'd
I
be
yeah.
much more flexible to
I
rotate.
I
Like
had
the Liverpool one was surprising.
I had a thought about that because I actually put Trossard in my team, and it was between
Mm.
Trossard, Martinelli, and Johnson from
oof.
Spurs,
Yeah.
and both the other two got returns, and
Yeah.
Trossard didn't. But the reasoning was when I looked at the Arsenal Champions League game, Trossard came off at 70 minutes, Martinelli played the full game, so I had a
Mm.
feeling that maybe Trossard was rested and was due to start.
But
Um,
Sterling caught you by surprise.
Sterling caught me by surprise. I was happy that he gave away the ball that got the goal for Southampton because
Mm.
everybody had double Arsenal defense
Double
and
Arsenal. It was great.
it
Yeah,
was
it was great.
great. Yeah,
For a person that has a single Arsenal defender, for Arsenal to concede doesn't make me feel as bad because I know there's people feeling more pain than I am.
I had double Liverpool defense and paid off again.
So great.
I think
What a winner.
if you look at the Liverpool game, even though it was a bit lackluster, Palace didn't do much. I think another reason why Olas are selling. I think Henderson is a poor pick for keeper.
Yeah,
I still have
I
him.
think so too.
Did his price drop yet?
I don't
I
think so. I don't
thought
think
I
it's
think
dropped yet.
it was due to drop if I'm not mistaken, and because
I think
he's
it's
not
too
in
bad.
my team anymore, but we will get more to that. Get more on that
A little
later.
more
But
on that. Just gonna cut to the team of the week. Start off in goals. Pickford. Is Pickford an option?
Surprise.
Because his price has dropped. He's
Yeah.
4.8.
And Justin with 2 returns 2 weeks in a row.
That's the other thing. Justin too. I was also
Mm.
gonna say that the other person that's on the team of the week twice is Ryan Eight Nuri from
Yeah.
Wolves, and
And he was someone that we doubted in I think the
we
last
doubted.
stream we
Yeah,
had, right? To say like why are people going Wolves? And
yeah,
the soak said, let me put one in the back of the net and I'll tell you why.
look at that Manchester United defender sneaking in, huh?
yeah. Johnny Evans.
With the 3 bonus coming in clutch.
Bowen was actually a shout by you, Mohammed Waseem, for a differential for this week.
Mm.
Antonio got the highest points of the game week with I think he had
Three
three
assists and a
assists.
goal.
It's nice to see.
There was actually something I seen on Twitter this week. They said strikers that have come into and tried to displace Antonio. It was like a list of like 15 strikers, and
Yeah,
Antonio is now still the
still
striker
that's
that's
still striker.
actually leading the line. Yeah.
But I don't think that's due to Antonio's quality. I think that's due to bad
So
signings.
bad recruitment. Yeah,
This
it's
is
really bad
this is
recruitment.
really
The
bad
Skamaka
recruitment.
one, I'm surprised didn't work out for them because
Yeah, he's
I thought
killing
he'd
it
stay a little bit longer.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
a good
saw
player.
him live in the final, Europa League final.
Oh, nice,
Oh, it was so nice.
nice.
That was the hat trick by
Oh, Edmund Lookman.
Lookman. Yeah,
Mm.
former Fulham, Leicester City, Everton player. We're back to the fixtures. Brentford vs Wolves. We kind of touched on Wolves players. A lot of goals, a lot of poor defending.
Mm.
Another first minute goal there, or was it second this time? But
No,
another
no,
very
Yeah,
early goal.
second minute. Yeah, in the
second
second
minute.
minute.
They delayed.
Crazy.
My heart was in my mouth there. But consistent as ever, Mbuemo. Like I actually wanted to make the meme this week because I was not happy with the choices. And you know the Chelsea Nottingham Forest fight and Palmer sitting and watching. I
Yes.
was gonna put all their names like Saka, Palmer, Salah, and then Palmer. I was just gonna write Mbuemo, consistent as ever, just watching the midfielders fight, but every week gets a goal. He's he's really on form, and like he's genuinely a good player. He's not just an FPL
Yeah.
player. He's
Mm.
lovely. He's lovely to watch. He's dangerous. I hate watching him when Liverpool play. Um, so hopefully he gets. I don't know if he'll get a good move, but I hope he does. He's fairly. I don't think he's that old.
I think so.
He's
Yeah, I think he can probably be, but it'll likely only be a squad play if he moves to another team, right? And that's
Yeah,
the
I
problem.
don't see him fitting in another team. Like I don't see him like at
Mm.
Manchester United or City or
Uh,
Liverpool or Spurs.
mm.
Um,
I could see maybe fitting in Spurs as a option on the right wing, because I mean we currently don't have someone on the right that cuts in. Because if
mm,
Kulusevski is now playing inside, he gives decent option. Like I mean I wouldn't say no, because I mean we don't really have. I mean it's better than Timo Werner, guys.
yeah,
And if you look at the type of guys that you guys have signed that have done, like with Solanke coming in now, and he just suits the profile a little bit, Brennan Johnson. It's just he's got that young English.
Well,
He's English,
and the
right?
thing is,
no, he's
Is he
oh,
French.
Burma,
English? No.
He's French.
Oh, he's
Cameroonian,
French.
Oh,
or French
Cameroonian is.
Cameroonian.
he's Cameroonian.
Mm.
Okay,
So does he play for Cameroon?
He plays for Cameroon.
Cameroon. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I
So
think
that's
it's
cool.
Cameroon.
Africa, no?
Sure, it's Cameroon,
I'm
but
quite sure
I know
he's
it's definitely
just.
one of the African
I'm
countries.
quite sure he's playing for them just because he couldn't get into the French team. I
Yes,
remember
but I
when
think
he,
he's French. Yeah, I
yeah,
think he is
he,
French.
he when he first in FPL, he was definitely had the French flag.
Mm.
Um, Leicester vs Bournemouth. No returns for Semenyo for once. I didn't expect Leicester to keep a clean sheet, but
Yeah.
I know a friend who had Leicester keeper for 4.4,
Oh, nice.
who got a clean sheet. A lot of people have the Belgium defender face for
Yes.
4.0, and
Yeah.
I think now it's 4.1. So that's clean sheets. And if you're looking
Mm.
at the 4.0 category, you're looking at Leicester versus Ipswich. It seems like
Yes.
Leicester's the better option. James Justin versus that Davis 4.5, and James Justin seems to be the better option.
Yeah, because it
So
looks like he's getting attacking returns, which
mm,
is great.
I guess the Everton versus Newcastle game was the next one, and Everton getting a clean sheet, saving a penalty. Nice to see.
I watched a lot of that game, unfortunately for me. It was
Oh,
absolutely painful to watch. It
bad.
was like there just wasn't enough chances, and I mean the quality I don't think was great in the game. So I questioned my evening, and I decided to go bath the baby instead to put myself from continually watching the rest of this match.
Speaking of painful games, I don't know if you guys caught the Villa United game. I
I did.
personally,
Wow.
I
Wow,
thought that
wow,
was
wow,
so
wow, wow.
painful, so painful.
Yeah, it was really bad.
United, I actually feel like last episode I said Ten Hag should get another chance, but based on that performance, watching how United lined up and how they executed, if there was a game plan, was just so bad. Fernandez literally was right wing to left back to central defensive midfielder. He was everywhere doing nothing. At times,
Yeah.
he was overcrowding his own players. There was no structure. It was really poor. I feel bad for Hoyland.
But Villa also looked tired, right?
Villa
From
looked
their midweek game.
Rogers
Yeah, they
looked
looked really
Rogers
tired.
looked really good.
Yeah, the
But at
rest of
that
them
point,
looked like they weren't up for
it
it.
was Rogers versus Ericsson, which
Yeah.
also was. I watched. In all honesty, I didn't watch the full game because I watched 45 minutes and I was on my phone, and I also
I watched the entire thing. Yeah, I
I
watched the
I
entire
gave
thing.
up after that. Had I known Chelsea and Forest were playing at the same time, I would probably watch that game. I didn't know.
I missed the fight. I only found out about the fight today when I seen Twitter, and I was like, ah, it
Was
seemed
there
like a much
any
more entertaining game to
was
have
there any
watched.
repercussions of that? Because
I don't believe so.
I read that there's two players suspended for the Liverpool game based on yellow cards. Kukurea and I think it was Fofana for Chelsea will miss the Liverpool game based on five
Oh,
yellow cards. That's what I read.
well, that's great.
Don't know if it's true actually. I should probably check that because I read that on Twitter and I don't like taking my information from Twitter. And then people were saying in the fight Jackson slapped someone, so he might get a
Oh
ban
my
as well.
God. I
That's
hope so.
big
Then I can
news.
bring Kunku for 6 million.
That's the thing.
Oof.
I would bring him in instantly.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't even know who they're playing, to be honest. I wouldn't bring him in instantly. I think
Yeah,
they're playing Liverpool, so maybe not instantly. Let's run through the teams quickly. This is what saved me, and this is why I was so high up in
double
after Saturday.
defense. Yeah.
My whole defense uh, pulled through. Konate, Alexander-Arnold, and Hall.
Oh,
Hall
yeah, I
got
forgot
five
about
points.
Hall.
Obviously, the Trossard move, and actually,
Yeah.
I've been playing it safe, and I've been getting a lot of green arrows playing it safe. And the safe move would have been Brennan Johnson because of the fixtures.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I told myself Arsenal vs Southampton, and I said I'm
Nah,
getting green
you couldn't
arrows.
resist.
Yeah,
Yeah, you couldn't resist.
I'm getting green arrows, but I'm never, I'm not going up the list drastically. I'm just staying
Yeah.
consistent. So I said, time to take a risk. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, but that's what fantasy is about.
But I mean,
Calvert-Lewin,
you wouldn't question the move even in hindsight, right? I mean,
yeah,
you're thinking it's sound, right? Good fixture, expecting him to played 70 minutes midweek. I mean,
like my reasoning was there. It was just it wasn't to be. Um,
mm,
Unlucky.
yeah, the golden move would have been if you possibly to bring in Saka, but that's also fantasy, working with the budget. My bench is terrible, so I'll be looking at that. My strike force did nothing. I'll be looking at that as well. We've been speaking about the Palmer, Saka, Salah one game. Each of them have been performing, but I think the forwards it's to mention as well with Jimenez and Woods have seemed to be inconsistent. Muniz
consistent,
also
yeah.
got a return, but between Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't been doing that great, but Vardy, Antonio got on the points. That cheap striker is also a talking point. If you can get that right, you have a way to up your rank. Razeen, we're cutting to your team, 44 points as well. You can break the news now.
Can I? Is it finally
Yeah,
time to say
Yes,
yeah,
go
yeah.
for it.
wild, wild card active? Wild card active. Yes, indeed, it is finally time for me to climb up the ranks following this international break. I've activated my wild card and I've begun tinkering with this horrendous team. I don't think I have more than half of these players anymore. So I need to actually go back to see how I did because all these guys are already out of my team. It was an absolute shocker. It looked so good after the first day. I think like all of our teams did. We were all above average. It was a great Saturday. And Sunday, when I choose not to watch anything because I had an event on, I didn't watch any of these games. They were all just horrendous for my team and nothing went right. I suppose I didn't have enough players and stuff. So yeah, Setri felt good, but just not good enough. Saka just messed us around. And, surprisingly, we'll find out in a bit, but I still don't have Saka in my team, even after calling that major, major haul that he delivered. So lots
Mm-mm-mm.
of tinkering to
Mm.
be done. I do have Cole Palmer, though, because I'm not going to let that one stay with me for 2 weeks.
So we'll transition to your wildcard team. So you're on the screen. You have your wildcard team up. You still got Flecken, but I see you rotating him with Sanchez. But you still got Mesraoui. Why?
So he's someone we're going to be talking about a lot. The main reason he's still in my team is just because of the value that he's 4.6,
Ah,
and
okay.
if I sell him, like I won't be able to get him back. I doubt I'll want to, but look at their fixtures, man.
Let me.
Brentford, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton. So if you just look at this initial draft, which is just a day-to-day draft that I'm doing to try and up my team value, it's just about putting players in that are going up. So if someone's going up tonight, I'll get them in for someone who's probably going down tonight. It's just been that way. I managed to get Havertz in for 8.2. He's now 8.3. I managed to get McNeil in at 5.6. He's going to due to go up to 5.7 soon. Palmer, I got at 10.7. He's now 10.8. Luckily, I already had Mbomo, otherwise he would have been someone I jumped on. Sepp Vandenberg from Brentford is due to go up. It's just about getting all these cheap assets in for now that you might want to consider at a later stage. Lewis as well, I think he might go up to 4.8. That's why I got him in pretty quickly. Colwell from Chelsea went up to 4.6. I got him at 4.5. So it was just a couple of transfers that I did. This is definitely not going to be anything close to my final draft, but it's just about thinking and it's about getting that understanding right about what exactly you want to do in terms of premiums, which premiums you want, how many premiums you want. I think I'm pretty set on having the two goalkeepers in rotation. I'm not 100% sure yet if it will be these two goalkeepers, but I don't see myself going for premium goalkeeper. So that's something I can probably confirm already. but lots of work to be done, and every single day is a different day because every day I'm just checking who's going up, who's going down, and you'll see the players in our watch list also will be mainly based on price changes that I have been monitoring from my side at least. So, yeah, looking forward to getting into it, looking forward to tinkering, looking forward to some more sleepless nights without football on. Who would have expected that, huh?
Mm.
But you got a solid premium in there with Haaland, Salah, and Palmer, which is what I'm trying to somehow make happen with my three transfers, and trying to convince myself there's a mini wildcard to get another premium midfielder in there somehow.
I'm also quite impressed with the team as it is. Just Mazraoui, I got question marks over,
Mm.
but we'll talk about
But
him.
who else do you put? Do you have money in the bank, Razeen? Even with with that current team that you have out there?
That is a good question. No, so this is my full budget, which has been used.
Okay.
But thankfully, my team value is going to go up. I see it going up. As soon as
Yeah.
I get another price rise, it's going to go up a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
not the worst team value. I mean, I remember monitoring our team values last week or a week,
Mm.
2 weeks ago when you played your wild card. I currently have a value of 101.3 million. So
Okay. It's
it's
decent.
decent.
Yeah. Now look, I'm just thinking like, who do you, if you don't want Mazraoui, who do you potentially replace him within that 4.5 million price range? And you see, the options are looking thin for defenders at the moment. But I feel like it's one of those seasons where it's not worth investing in them at the moment, especially the ones that are getting attacking returns. You can probably go cheap because I mean, no one's really keeping clean sheets at the moment.
Yeah, so it's
Quite
rather you
painful.
rather go cheap, but definitely
Mm.
Justin is someone I was looking at. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah,
Southampton,
he's got
Forest,
good
and Ipswich
fixtures.
in his next
Yeah,
three,
Mm.
which is insane short-term fixtures. He's
Yeah.
also 4.5. He's probably going to go up to 4.6 soon. So if I do take Mazraoui out, it would be for him, and that's one of the reasons why
Mm.
Mazraoui was someone to talk about. But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I'll um I'll transition to Mohammed Waseem's team. You got 43, so 1 point
I have points
less
on the
than.
bench 2 weeks in a row.
That's
Flipping hell.
yeah. You got more
Yeah.
points on the
Last
bench.
week McNeil, this week Wood. And like so the Wood one I don't feel as bad because it was between Wood or Rogers this week.
Mm.
And Rogers against Man United versus Wood against Chelsea. Just Rogers felt like a better option in terms of getting a return there, but I should have known rather play the guy that plays up top and is on pins as well. So probably have more comfort there. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not completely unhappy with my team. The only thing that currently worries me, lack of Palmer or Saka as an option, and just going with Salah at the moment is probably going to hurt me because I mean, the thing is having a lot of cheap midfielders in your team probably shouldn't be expecting returns on a consistent basis at that price range anyway. So I'm trying to see how can I try and afford Saka or Salah in at some point in time. Sorry, Saka or Palmer in at some point in time, and what I'm gonna have to sacrifice to get there. And I mean, Trent is looking quite susceptible to being cut from this team at this point, and I think Solanke is also eating up a bit of budget. So to be able to bring in one of those mids, gonna probably have to sacrifice someone or a couple of the players in my team.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with Trent. I think that's the a lot of people are going to be considering cutting him. Like he's getting the clean sheets, but the attacking returns are
Mm,
lacking, and
yeah,
there are cheaper options in the same team. He's the most expensive
yeah,
defender, and if you're not getting the attacking returns, might as well just drop to
yeah.
either Van
I was
Dijk
thinking
or
even
Trent.
Van Dijk. I was thinking even Van Dijk from an attacking returns perspective because he's going to go through a spell in the season where he's gonna couple of bullet headers at some point in time
Yeah,
where he'll get you some decent points.
And
definitely.
what are the pair of you thinking of doing with Semenyo, considering his difficult fixtures coming up?
He's
Um,
the one I'm actually targeting, replacing the rest of my or bringing my next forward in for, or rather my other more expensive mid, because I think he's the higher price of the three that I want to get rid of.
we can transition into our players to watch, and this players to talk about because we're not doing a dedicated players to watch. Are gonna do a preview later on. This is just mainly for the review, and I have James Justin on the screen. We spoke about him already. 4.5 going up to 4.6, but I'll just mention again those fixtures: Southampton
Yeah,
away,
look
Forest
great.
at home, Ipswich away, United away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away.
Mm.
Um, and he's just got his first clean sheet. The game week before, he got 2 goals. He's a fullback, 4.5. Decent shout.
And
But
he's
he only
one of the
has
4 point.
3 points more than Mazraoui this season.
You're comparing a United defender to a Leicester defender. So,
They're
um,
the same price.
yeah, but it's
That point
still.
one makes a difference, bro. That
I
point one is
give
it
it
makes a
give
difference.
it 3 more game weeks. Evans will be
Give
beating
me
them
a
all,
case.
and he's
Just give me
4.4.
a case for keeping Mazarawi, otherwise I'm going to take him out now. And if I take him out now for Justin, then he's not going back in my team because he's going to be more expensive.
I have
Yeah,
Mizrawi in my on the screen now. He's 4.6. He's got Bradford at home. First goal, first minute they'll concede. West
yeah.
Ham away. I think United will beat. No, I think United will lose to West Ham because it's at
It's at the London Stadium. Yeah,
London Stadium. Um, Chelsea at home. I think United are going to concede. Leicester at home and Ipswich away. Maybe there's
No,
there's
mm,
Vardy scores there. Vardy scores there at Old Trafford.
so I personally don't think Mazraoui is an option unless you can keep him until the end of the game week until the 2 minutes before deadline. But if Ten Hag is not sacked and there's no new manager with a new manager bounce
that's what
back,
I'm saying. I said you got to just wait for those news because I remember reading some content this rather today saying that 48 hours and he's gone. So we must just see if he's I think if he's even gonna stay. But I think
I really
Justin's
hope he
probably
stays.
yeah I think Justin's probably a better option in the sense that he gives you attacking returns. But I don't know, Mazraoui hasn't really been as impactful, I think, in the final. But because Man United themselves and have not been as
Yeah.
impactful. I mean, 5 goals in 7 games from their side, right? So, I mean, at
And
least with Justin, you get that option. But I think the Leicester defense may be worse in totality as well. So,
have
it's
you
probably why.
interesting.
have you thought about? And I know it's not like I don't know about the Allison injury, but it looks like a hamstring. So
It does. It does.
Kelleher will be
Yeah.
the next step. He'll be. I don't know his exact price. I can just.
Where was Kelleher this weekend?
I have no idea,
He
but
was ill. He was ill this weekend.
Okay.
um,
That's why he wasn't. And going the one game he's not on the bench, and they need the
They have to
substitute
come
keeper,
on.
which is and Keller is 4.4, so that
that's
is
the thing.
absolutely insane. Yeah.
So I think like we're talking about 4.4 and 4.5. Um, I think if you have like if you look at the teams like because now we're looking at good defensive or good offensive defenders, and if you're looking at that 4.5 category, like James Justin, we don't expect to keep clean sheets, but
Mm,
Liverpool, Arsenal, to a point, City, even though they haven't, we expect to keep more clean sheets. 4.4, Keller, we don't know the extent of the injury, but I have a feeling they're not
We'll
going to rush
probably know
Allison.
soon.
They're not going to rush Allison because Kelleher is a good replacement. Um, he's proven that time and time. I think he's going to start. I think he's one to look at, and that's a cheap way to get into the defense. But Mizraoui, I don't know other options, but just based on teams, I'd look at Forest. I'd look at
yeah.
I'd look at Forest, or I'd go cheaper to Ipswich or Leicester. Everton got good fixtures as well.
And also with Luke Shaw coming back, maybe they're gonna give him a go. Mazraoui could be dropped.
Yeah, Van de Ven is another option, but Spurs also not going to keep clean sheets. You're going to have the same issue.
Yeah.
You might as
Defensively,
well.
and Van de Ven's not going to give you as much attacking
Mm,
returns. As much as he got 2 assists this season, he's not reliable in terms of attacking third
yeah,
impact.
I do have Son on the list.
That was
Spurs.
my idea also.
Why?
I just I wanted to hear what Mohammed Waseem has to say about him because I've seen him in a few potential
He's
wildcard drafts
expensive,
this
bro.
week.
He's
We
expensive.
actually
I
we
think.
actually skipped the fixture Spurs versus Brighton.
Oh yes, for with good
Tell
reason.
us tell us about
What a
Oh,
pain, man. It was so unnecessarily complacent. I think after the past few results, I think going up 2-0 at halftime, I just want to say the guys got complacent, man. I don't think there was any other reason to for that performance. Absolutely shocking. And I don't know how the manager only makes a substitution 75 minutes into the game after the players have conceded. I mean, as soon as you get one in and maybe even two, you say, okay, we're getting overrun in midfield. Kazi, let's make some changes in midfield. I mean, he made changes that you should be making at 2-1, at 3-2, and you're trying to impact the game from there, which is unfortunate. But that second half was poor, 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 poor. One mistake, we let the team back in. Home crowd got going, and after it was over.
Did
was
you guys
painful to
did you
watch.
guys miss on?
I don't, to be honest, in that second half, we didn't really create any chances. So I can't even say that we missed him there. And I mean, maybe his leadership qualities, maybe just get the foot on the ball a little bit more, try and calm everyone down might have made a bit of a difference. But I think in general, we were just very lackluster. I mean, in the first half, to be honest, we should have again scored 4 or 5. And Timo Werner in the first minute can't square simple ball across the box for Johnson to tap in, which is unfortunate. But I mean, still went 2-0 up. No excuses for that performance, to be honest. Players and the manager need to really look at themselves and say, guys, how did we let that one slip from that position? So with Son, I mean, the fixtures aren't easy, right? For the next few. I think West Ham is usually a tough fixture for Spurs in general. Villa also as well. Palace, I mean, you never know with Palace, they could get it going eventually, right? So, I mean, they're one of those teams where you just want to be careful on.
I think the West Ham game. I actually one of the reasons I wanted to get Johnson in is because of that game.
Mm,
West Ham, um, when teams go up against them this season particularly, they
yes.
seem to be off the pace, and when like explosive high pace football is being played, they
Yeah.
can't keep up, and their midfield is definitely not on par with
Mm, no,
Spurs.
hundreds. But I think it's a London derby, and there's plenty of hate between West Ham and Spurs in general. So I think that usually gets them fired up. And when it comes to those type of games, sometimes tactics really get thrown out of the window, and passion sometimes gets teams across the line.
I guess so. I'm still backing Spurs for that game.
Yeah. No, I
Palace.
would as well. I just
Hmm,
wouldn't expect it to be as easy as this
yeah.
fixture tracker thing makes it look.
Yeah, I guess the fixtures are not like they're good, but they're not great. And if you're
Yeah.
investing so much in an asset, you either want them to be able to get points against every team, or to have a
Yeah.
good set of fixtures that you expect points in every week.
Yeah, but
So
I can't justify the Son money at 9.9 when there's options across there. Because I mean, if you want to go Son, you're risking not going with Saka or Palmer, which I think would be absolutely insane. I mean, I think even Foden's a better pick at that price range,
mm,
to
I
be
think that's
honest.
the best way to at least rule out a premium option. It's
Mm.
yeah,
nice to hear that from you, and especially when you say it and then he goes and he comes back with a hat trick. That's just what we need
I'm here
here.
for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'll celebrate in other ways. But I mean, I mean, he might get returns, right? But
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
get you. I get you.
there's better long-term value elsewhere. And I mean, I think Spurs have been very inconsistent, right? I mean, the only decent performance that I can say, I mean, as much as they played the last 5 games, not a lot of difficult teams in there. United weren't really up for it either. The Brentford game, maybe we played well there, but I mean, the rest of the fixtures were okay. So I mean, as soon as the team is a little bit more stronger, I mean, we seem to have um, lost a lot of those games this season.
speaking of premium players, I probably have the most premium player on screen right now, Cole Palmer.
Mm.
Um, like he's just it seems consistent returns. His fixtures
And
look
and he's one of
difficult,
those
but
guys like I don't really care about what fixtures he has.
yeah,
That's how good he is at the moment. Like I really don't even care what fixtures is upcoming because I mean those next those next 6 are not great. Right? I mean the only one that stands out there is probably Leicester,
yeah,
which is a favorable fixture, but the rest all look difficult. They
yeah.
all look like
It's
challenging fixtures. So I mean he's one of those that makes me question. But I mean he's just been playing so well, and literally everything goes through him. It's like not even funny how everything goes through him.
but even how Chelsea line up, they do look
Yeah,
dangerous and they
they
do
do.
look
Yeah,
threatening, and they play with I don't care, we attacking. And
yeah,
Jackson, Madueke, and Palmer, Sanchez to a point. Sanchez looks a bit more composed. Other three just look like
yeah.
they savage. They out to get you. Jackson, especially, he's really quick. He's really strong. He's
Yeah, and I
Drogba-esque
was reading
to a
I
point.
was reading about the game a little bit as well, saying that Madueke had some chances to sway it back to Parma. I think they had a
Hmm.
couple of 1-2s on the edge of the box, and he went for the greedy approach and took a shot, and I think missed about 3 times. We had the option to potentially lay it off to Palmer for him to get a strike off. So if he can get rid of a bit of his greed, then Palmer's going to be there creating chances. I mean, the thing is also on pens, right? Which also gives him
Adds
that extra
to
bit of an
yeah.
advantage. Yeah.
Um, it's like it's gonna be difficult to get him into the team. He's coming up
Yeah.
against Liverpool next though, and next player we can talk about is Raheem Konate. Um, I'm happy because I have him in my team. I'm really happy with the price point, and to be honest, I love watching him play. I think he's a sound defender, apart from one moment. Uh, uh, that will haunt me a little bit. But yeah, Mohamed, you looking at him?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at the three players I'm looking at because Saka is also one of them that'll come up just now. But between Palmer, Saka, and Konate, I'm plotting how to get all three of them in at the same time, which is quite scary to be thinking of, to be honest. But
Mm,
I think where my headspace is now, so I have this thing where I didn't go Salah at the start. I paid for it a little bit, not too badly because I mean I still made decent rank afterwards. I had Saka instead, which was doing the consistent returns. I did Saka to Salah effectively, and then Salah's pretty much blanked ever since, and got a no value. So I'm scared to be the one that goes to, okay, now I'm going to change from Salah to go back to someone else. And Salah's a big game player, right? So I mean, with Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Villa next four, I think he probably turns up in those big games. My only worry is, I guess, after the international break with him traveling and that, and he's been playing crazy minutes, right? I mean, he was even taken off quite early in the Palace game. So I think they're going to try and watch his minutes at some point in time, but probably not in the next two. So
yeah.
I
The
think I think he plays Chelsea and Arsenal quite a bit of minutes there anyway. So I'm concerned about that, but that's why I'm worried not to take him out because I think he'll be quite crucial in those games. Um, then trying to get Konate in for Trent because I mean that we spoke about it a little bit earlier where Trent's value in the attacking. I mean I watched the game and he wasn't as influential going forward anymore. He plays much more, I don't want to say conservative, but I mean, doesn't play with as much risk as he would probably under a
mm,
Klopp type of system, to be honest. So as a Konate at that value, I can probably spend that money of Trent a little bit better in my midfield and look to potentially get a Palmer or Saka in there to try and, I guess, have more options. At least if one of them is performing, I've got at least two of the three instead of just one of the three, which I have at the moment.
just to maybe sway your mind a little bit and keep it open, getting rid of Salah is not a bad option in my opinion. Looking at those
Mm,
fixtures, for one, Liverpool seem to have a harder fixture list than Chelsea, Arsenal, and City.
mm,
Because they have all three of them.
yeah.
The other thing is that Salah, we don't know how Slot is going to play against the big teams. This is his
Yes.
test at the moment. Mourinho played great football, but against the big teams, he played really boring football. We don't know how Slot is going to line up against these teams. What is his plans? At the moment, he seems a bit conservative, and we don't know if he goes down 1-0, 2-0. What's his approach in that sense as well?
Yeah.
Um, we don't know if Liverpool are going to be like under Klopp. I'd say even if we lose, we'd lose with Salah scoring. Uh,
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's going to be the case on the slot. I'm hoping. I'm really happy with the football we're playing, but I trust Slot to do the right thing and maybe make it a bit boring. I think he's going to play to win, which is a
But
good
his
thing.
level of boarding is keep the ball as much as you can, and it's possession-based boarding. It's not sitting in a low block, for example,
No,
and
no,
letting teams
Yeah.
dictate, right?
no,
So
no. He
I
He
think it's a
took off
very
Salah this
possession-based
time.
boarding.
yeah.
At
Yeah.
1-0 up to take off Salah is very different from what you'd expect.
Yeah, I
Mm.
see him if we're winning 1-0, 2-1 against Chelsea. I see him bringing him Endo for one of the attacking players and
Yeah.
just Palmer
Yeah.
block. Like I
Yeah.
can see him doing that very easily.
Mm.
I mean Endo came on and was phenomenal against Palace. Like just drowned everybody
He
out.
closed the game off
Yeah,
completely. The game was
Yeah.
absolutely closed off
yeah.
once he came onto the pitch.
I thought Gravenberch was amazing as well, but and
Oh, what a flair. What a flair.
Endo to be honest is a better six. Just at the moment, like he's just at the defensive aspect at least. Um, he
Yeah, I think ball carrying and stuff, Gravenberch gives them so much
gives
fun.
real
And
spark. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised to potentially even see Endo starting maybe against big teams, right?
yeah.
Because as you said, we don't know what he's gonna do if they play against a big team. Maybe he'll want to go for because I mean if they play those three that currently play in midfield, it seems very open. As much as Gravenberch's not a natural six, for example, there's a potential for them to get overrun in midfield. But I
Um,
don't know, we'll see.
yeah. Like Chelsea's midfield, I'm not too sure.
Maybe not Chelsea,
Arsenal,
maybe
yeah.
not against Chelsea's midfield. Maybe
City
Arsenal
and
I think
midfield is
Arsenal.
we'll
strong
really
enough
be
there.
tested against Real Madrid. That's going to be that first real big test. That's where you're
Mm.
really going to see what he's going to do, you know?
Hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he does play Endo and Gravenberg together with one of McAllister or Szoboszlai, I wouldn't really be surprised. It would be interesting, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I trust him though. Like there's no reason not to trust him at this
I
point.
do, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason not to trust him at this point. We're gonna talk about Raul Jimenez at this point because what a beautiful
Good
flick.
player. Good player,
Um,
man.
what a beautiful flick. He's really come on song and
Mm.
he's really impressed me. And Razeen pointed him out before he was even in the team.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you guys remember.
But fixtures are okay. Villa is a
They're
bit
not bad.
difficult, but Everton, Brentford, Palace, Wolves, and Spurs all been conceding.
Mm.
I sold Smith Rowe, so I'm a bit regretful now.
Yeah. No, so I'm considering Jimenez for I mean I've got two options, right? I've got Chris Wood that's decent at the moment and I've got Solanke as well. So I think if I want to try and afford one of the premium mids, I might actually consider doing a Solanke down to Jimenez. Because then I mean with Jimenez, Wood and Haaland up top, there's a reasonable amount of consistency with that front three. But obviously it's probably not going to be from a long-term perspective. But you can probably shift one of the other guys on as well. So I'm going to tinker with a few different options. I might drop Salah to Saka and then fund what's Salah and probably Trent to Konate and use those funds to potentially do Semenyo to Saka if possible. But there's a few options. I actually even considered Chris Wood to Raul Jimenez at some point in time. Maybe just my Spurs bias wanting to keep Solanke in there, but I'm trying to see how I can best slice this problem and get some decent options in my team at the moment.
We'll go to Saka because staying with your options there, and we've spoken about him a lot, and you're trying to get him in your team. Do you think um, Saka, looking at his fixtures as well, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, do you think he's a must at this point? Do you think would you wave to more Salah? Like Palmer seems to be the
Mm,
best option um,
yeah, out of the three.
out
But
of the
I think
three.
if I had to go with two and I had to probably weigh Saka up against Salah at the moment, I mean, over the past couple of games, I've actually been quite disappointed by Salah and I guess the way he's played because I feel like teams are trying to cut him out of the game a lot and a lot of the Liverpool, I guess I don't even know where Liverpool's creativity is coming from at the moment because I haven't been watching as closely, but I think Saka against Bournemouth, there's probably returns there. Against Liverpool, maybe not as much because I think Liverpool are very tight defensively. Newcastle, I mean, as much as they kept a clean sheet this week, they haven't looked strong either, right? Chelsea, I
No,
think with good players attacking them, will probably concede. Forest, I think Arsenal will get some, but I can see Saka getting a return in every game. And as much I mean, he was consistent last season. He's consistent again this season. He's always doing something. And Arsenal with their set piece specialists, and I mean, he's on a lot of the set pieces as well. So I mean, he gives himself option. And I mean, he's the cheapest out of the three as well, right? Which
yeah,
also makes it a little bit easier to fit him in compared to the others.
I agree with you on that point. I do think Salah is just a better fantasy pick. Um,
Yeah.
but I think in the long term, I think Saka might come close this season.
Mm.
And for price wise, and that just means value if you invest that
Yep.
money elsewhere. Um, I'm going to try and shine some ideas on you. Maybe you can look at them for value. We spoke about Jordan Pickford. I flagged him team of the week 4.8. Everton have beautiful fixtures. We spoke about them as well. He seems to always not deliver once he's in a team.
Mm.
um, but Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Brentford, United. It's just two good fixtures to ignore. But his price is a bit hefty. Um,
Yeah.
because at that price point, that's a keeper you want to put in and leave in. And I don't think he's going to be getting clean sheets against the big teams.
That's why Mikalenko was a great option for me
Mm,
last week at 4.3 because he's a way into the Everton defense and he also might get you attacking returns as well going forward. So that's why he came. But I think with Pickford also, I mean, if you watch Everton games, they get attacked a lot and he makes a lot of saves. So
yeah.
you'll always get a decent amount of save points with him in the team.
Um, to go cheap again, and someone we spoke about previously, Wolves defender Ryan at Nuri. Wolves got good fixtures coming up. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. They haven't kept a clean sheet yet. I don't think Wolves have done. Have they gotten more? Have they gotten?
They
They haven't
haven't
gotten
gotten
a
a win
win.
yet.
Yeah,
No, they don't have a win yet.
they
They
got.
bottom of the
They've had a
table.
very difficult fixture run, though. We have to
Mm.
also take that into consideration.
They got City next. Then they have Brighton, Palace, Southampton, Fulham, and Bournemouth. So they have a really good run after the City game. He's 4.4. He might be one to consider.
I think so. But my only worry with Wolves at the moment is just waiting to see if they keep Gary O'Neill after this. I mean, as much as they had a difficult run, I think he picked up 1 point in their entire run as a whole. So I don't know if they keep patience with him. Maybe give him a couple of more games to. Is there another international break still? One
Yeah,
in November.
Yeah,
yeah.
in 4 weeks' time.
Maybe they give him time until that next international break to
They
see
seem
if
to
he can
like
get some
him.
more results.
They seem to like him. I haven't seen enough, but there's always been positive talk about how they're playing and how they're looking. But results is the ultimate
But they've looked
statistics.
terrible this season. As
That's
much
yeah.
as as much as you can say that other teams, they've had a difficult run, they actually just look really bad.
I don't have great hope for them, but
Mm,
it seems to see a lot of people seem to be talking good
yeah.
about Wolves. Um, we back to our home screen, and we're done with our players. We're gonna have another show to preview the next game week, so that'll be close to the deadline. We have an international break now, so a little bit of time for rest. And Razeen's got a long
Think ahead of him.
international break. Good luck with the wild card.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait to show you my draft again just
Yeah.
before the deadline.
Keep us up to date on the group chat, and
I will, no, for sure, for sure.
we'll cut the stream
You guys
down.
are gonna need to help me a lot. You're both ahead of me, so lots of work for all of us to do.
Why are you trusting?
Yeah, why are you
Why
trusting
are you
us? Like
trusting us?
I could just be giving you really bad advice so you stay last.
Content creators, boys. We need together first season, debut season as content creators. We gotta beat all these guys. I'm on level with points with Andy. Imagine beating Andy in my first season on the stream. Wow.
Yeah, I also I'd love to beat Andy, but at this point I'm just trying to get as high up as I can.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get in the top 100,000 somehow
Yeah.
and get some consistent green arrows.
I would love if we can go on a FPL Cup run when the
Oh,
cup starts.
the FPL Cup is the most painful
Ooh.
It's
experience in
so
the world.
exciting, but I always go out in the first game. The
Yeah,
second game
the first
every
couple of
week.
rounds I'm always sent, and generally by a dead team.
That's the funniest part. I love that.
Yeah.
The dead team. He'll have Haaland as captain, and Haaland will have an injury, and everyone will take us out, and all of a sudden Haaland will come back, and we can't afford him, and then
Yeah.
this dead team with Haaland triple captain because it's
Yeah.
dead team, and just go out.
Pain.
Thank you guys so much for the stream. I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Yeah, all the best, and enjoy the international break.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Enjoy it, guys. Keep in touch. Cheers.